UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Transporter Chief, beam our listeners aboard. Welcome to Galaxy Class, a Star Trek The Next Generation podcast on the United Federation of Podcast Network. I am your Chief Recreational Officer, Rhea Papagiorgio, joined today by our Chief Perspiration Officer, Joe Keegan.
Yes, that sounds quite right. Yeah, quite apt. You know, listeners, I think most of you will be in the US and you guys will be acclimatized to your beautifully warm temperatures and you all have AC in your houses and so you get nice and cool. In the UK, we don't have AC and it's been like hitting the 30s here, 30 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, maybe 90 Fahrenheit-ish. So yeah, it's just uncomfortably warm. The only way I can get out of it is either to lie in a cold bath or put the AC on in my car.
Oh gosh, poor Joe. Well, I mean, anyone that knows me knows I'm not a fan of AC. It's probably in the 40s here, low, about 40, 38, 39, 40 Celsius. So I don't know, upper 90s, you know, and it's actually humid here for a change. But I do have the luxury of, while we're recording, shutting the windows and turning on the AC. So I guess I can't complain.
You don't look quite as sweaty as me then. That's good.
You look very sweaty, Joe.
Thanks.
You're glistening.
Yeah, it's a nice glow.
Yes. So how was your time off?
It's going good so far, yeah, not doing much, just decorating the house and walking the dogs or pushing one in a pram or a stroller and walking the other one. Yeah, it's nice and relaxing, enjoying the weather. So
that's good.
What have you been up to this week?
I was able to go visit some family for about a week and judged a rib cook-off, which was so amazing. And I got to go see some minor league baseball. I got to see Jen Paywall umpire in the Midwest League. So she's the first woman in professional baseball since me. So yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Wow, cool. I'm
pretty exciting.
I'll be
stuff.
excited. I don't know that name because I literally don't know anything about baseball apart from it's played with a big wooden stick. And I actually have a baseball stick. Yeah, I bought one when I went to New York for the first time, and I was like, it absorbed all the American culture. So I'm sure I've got an American flag baseball as well. Just
well,
because
perfect.
That's what you do.
That's right. You know, or you can be like my dad, who asked me once, if the guy with the ball is trying to hit the stick. And actually, no, Dad, it's the other way around. But he was always good for just hilarious questions.
Oh, okay, yeah, that seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. Actually, the guy with the ball tries to not hit the
stick.
stick.
Yeah, because that's why the guy with the stick like waves it about so much to make it hard to hit.
Other way around, the guy with the stick tries to hit the ball. I don't think that's right.
I think if you look up
the guy with the ball tries to make it.
If you look up the continental US baseball regulations 1995, you'll see that it's the guy with the ball trying to hit the stick. I'm sure this is the case.
Well, I'll have to look it up because I have been out of the game for a while.
Yeah.
Some of the rules have changed.
Don't argue with me. I'm quite convinced that's the answer.
When it comes to baseball, I know where to go, Joe.
Yeah, please.
Straight to you.
Straight to me. Oh, dear. It's all nonsense, listeners. All nonsense.
Yeah. And baseball's in the Olympics this year, so.
I've noticed that there's been a whole weird list of new sports added. Like this BMXing.
Like 3-on-3 basketball.
BMX.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a sport or just riding a bike? It's not a race.
Well, there's so many different kinds of bike riding.
Skateboarding, I'm sure, is in the Olympics.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how that one's judged. And then 3-on-3 basketball, which didn't know that was a thing, versus 5-on-5 basketball. Baseball's back. It was out for a couple Olympics. It's back this year. It's out for Paris. So I don't quite understand why baseball's on the yo-yo, but yeah, interesting.
So they've added karate, skateboarding, sport climbing, and surfing.
Ooh,
I did not know that.
interesting. I didn't know that either. Well, let's check the communication array to see if we have any comments from our listeners.
Logs accessed.
We have a comment from Chrissie De Clerck-Szilagyi about episode 48, which was our Batleth battle, which was between the Vengeance Factor and Booby Trap. About Yellowstone. Yes, that is the supervolcano. See, I told you, you guys didn't believe me. I don't even live in the USA and you guys didn't believe me. And the area was formed by a hotspot. Yes, that's a real geologic term. And that's what feeds all of the geysers and hot pools. The hotspot is a plume of magma that is stationary and burns holes in the tectonic plates as they move over it. You can track the plate's movement from the west coast on a geologic map to where it sits right now, which is Yellowstone. I hope Amy's back already, because this sounds scary, like Yellowstone's just going to go kaboom.
Oh.
Continuing the comment, this is the same type of formation that formed the Hawaiian Islands and has the same volcanic possibility. The difference is what the magma is moving through. In Hawaii, it is a relatively thin layer of crust, and so it just flows in a non-explosive way. In Yellowstone, there's a much thicker layer of crust which contains a lot of different types of minerals and materials which can react in an explosive way within the magma. Think along the lines of Mount St. Helens. That's another US. Is that not in Washington State or Oregon, somewhere up in the Pacific
It is.
West?
Yep.
That literally, was it the early 1900s or 1800s?
It was the late 1980s.
Was it that recently? And it
Yeah.
just, the whole side of the mountain went,
The whole top like blew off.
yeah, kaboom. The whole, like, a massive
Yep.
chunks. Yeah. Whoa, building size
Or
chunks.
86, I want to say, because my mom was out there because that's when one of my cousins was born, and so we blamed it on my mom falling in the bathtub,
Wow.
which wasn't very nice. But we were just kidding.
Weirdly, I know the vaguest details about Mount St. Helens, like its location, but I would just assumed that it was like 100 years ago or before that. 1980. So I was alive when Mount St. Helens erupted.
Yeah, 86, I want
I
to
was
say.
9 then? Wow. This comment continues from Chrissie. So in terms of Mount St. Helens, on the low end of the scale, or Thera Santorini on the higher end.
And we know that Santorini's in Greece.
And is that a volcano?
It's a volcanic island,
Oh, interesting.
which, because of its ashy soil, produces excellent white wines.
Having said that, it's highly unlikely to happen in our lifetimes. That means Amy's safe. That's good.
Yes.
On a side note, I did my undergrad at the University of Wyoming because I was going to be a paleontologist when I grew up, and I worked in the geology library. In 2004-ish, Discovery Channel did a documentary on the Yellowstone supervolcano, for which they featured a lot of the faculty. The day after it aired, I remember distinctly overhearing them complaining about how poorly it was edited to make it appear that they were a great deal more concerned about it than warranted. I must have seen that same documentary, Chrissie, because I've been worried about it for the longest time. That's good to know.
And Amy did make it back from Yellowstone safe and sound.
That's good. Wonder, Chrissie, did you want to be a paleontologist or an archaeologist after seeing Jurassic Park when it first came out in the cinema? Because that's what I wanted to do, and I spent a day up the hills digging up things, hoping to find dinosaur fossils, and it didn't happen, so my dreams were turned to dust quite quickly. But thanks for your comment.
Or did you want to be an archaeologist just like Captain Picard?
I didn't. Do you know what? It didn't occur to me at the time. Interesting.
Well, Chrissie De Clerck-Szilagyi, we also have a comment from you regarding episode 49, our Q profile. And Chrissie says, about Roddenberry and his godlike beings, his atheism is the point. Every time he presents godlike beings, they exist only to be shown not to be gods. Q, Trelane, Ardra, Adonis, Landry's computer, etc. Not even the Bajoran gods are actually gods. On a side note, in Who Mourns for Adonai, Kirk introduces the idea that aliens came to Earth and people thought they were gods. It predates Eric von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods, the first ancient alien theory book, by a year. Yet another reason that the idea of ancient aliens started as fiction and should stay there. Well, yeah, that's, I've always found it very interesting that Roddenberry over and over returned to the themes of godlike beings. There's also not the ultimate computer. Oh gosh, Nomad, the episode with Nomad, and that theme was pretty much duplicated in Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Yeah.
Star Trek 5 too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm going old school here. But what's interesting is without being inside Gene Roddenberry's head, you can look at it as he wanted to show over and over that these godlike beings actually were not gods, or you can look at it as, there was some deep desire within himself to explore the nature of gods. But I don't know. I love the fact that you can kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of, justify it, explain it from both sides of the coin.
Interesting. I don't know. Do you know? I didn't know how you said the name. I've never known how you said the name Adonais.
I've heard it so many different ways.
So there you go. I learned something new.
In Greek, it would be Adonis.
I believe Chris gets 2 comments in the one episode. It's quite lucky. On the same episode, Q Profile, we have a message from Chris Tribuzio. Here's what I say would be a perfect for a Star Trek version of What If, titled Snap at High Noon. Listeners, insert Western suspense music and fade into Thanos and Q back to back. They each count 5 paces, turn, and who snaps the fastest is reality's fate.
I like it.
So ultimately, Thanos wanted to wipe out all life in the universe as punishment and replace it with something that was subservient to him. What would Q's reality be?
He would snap and everyone would be in Starfleet 24th century uniforms, and he would be the captain, and everyone else would be like blue shirts and yellow shirts. He would be in command.
Is he that annoying?
And then the hilarity would ensue. Yes.
Okay, I'll buy that.
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
Well, Mr. Tribuzio, while we're speaking of what ifs, we have now come to our What If Part 5 episode, and kind of inspired by Chris's comment and also some of our discussions in the last couple of Galaxy class episodes, we're going to look at what if crossovers, as in what if, Thanos and Q had their face off at high noon, or I'm sorry, their snap off at high noon. So Joe, if our TNG cast somehow managed to cross over into another franchise, what would happen?
Depends what franchise. So I'm not just a Star Trek fan. I like most, if not all, sci-fi. In terms of TV, sci-fi franchises, that is. My favourites have to be Star Trek, Babylon 5, Stargate, like all of them, Farscape, I suppose lesser Andromeda, which is another Gene Roddenberry production. I loved Earth Final Conflict as well. So I think some of those would make really good crossovers. Stargate SG-1, yep, and Star Trek The Next Generation foreseen as a crossover. Do we see a fight scene between Worf and Teal'c? Or is it Stargate Atlantis and it's some kind of fight, or maybe not a fight, maybe working together between Worf and Jason Momoa's character.
Ooh.
Jason Momoa is Aquaman currently. Jason Momoa played
Ronan Dex.
Ronan Dex, that's it. So either a fight tournament, like a Zunkatse between Worf, Ronan, and Teal'c. Or probably they have to fight their way into an enemy stronghold and battle the bad guys because they are the warriors of the cast. But I don't want to choose any of those big franchises, big sci-fi franchises. Mm-hmm. I want to go some bit unusual. And I'm going to go with Rick and Morty.
Nice.
Rick and Morty meet the Star Trek The Next Generation crew for some kind of weird and wacky, adult-themed, very inappropriate shenanigans. So listeners, I know, Rhea, you said earlier that you've never seen Rick and Morty, so just to put you in... It's really hard to describe. You've seen Family Guy, yeah?
Yes.
It's like that. So it's that kind of humour, except it's a family and they live with the grandfather. And the grandfather's this old alcoholic, but he's also like the super genius, interdimensional spaceman adventurer. Think Indiana Jones, thinks he knows everything about the universe. He can travel between multiple dimensions and just have lots of crazy adventures.
Wait a minute. So he's this old drunk traveler and possibly an ancestor of Jack Crusher.
Yes. Grandpa Rick is a traveller. You heard it here first, listeners.
Yes.
That is absolutely true. It's all in our head canon now, so must be.
Yep.
So I imagine that Rick and Morty, Rick is especially drunk on one mission, and he's doing what he does on his wee, like, UFO shape, size of a car thing. It's a car UFO spaceship, interdimensional spaceship, and does something, press some buttons, and they go through some kind of portal in space, and they crash into the front of the Enterprise D saucer section. Let's go with that for.
Whoops.
Yes. And
Nice.
so yeah, that's as far as I've got. I don't really know what's happening in the episode. The Enterprise is on some kind of mission. And I think maybe Rick and Morty just kind of make it difficult to accomplish the mission.
I think Wesley should be aboard because maybe Rick, with his traveler abilities, can somehow realize that Wesley is his descendant. Or maybe Wesley realizes it. Great, great, great grandpa?
Yep. There has to be a scene on 10 Forward where Rick's drank all the alcohol and he gets really angry and shoots Guinan because it's not alcohol, it's synthahol.
Or maybe Guinan's the one that realizes that Rick is Wesley's great, 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 great grandfather.
No, Rick goes into 10 Forward and sees Guinan and like they're old friends. They're old drinking buddies. They're lovers. They've just been around the universe and back together.
Nice. So could there possibly be a possibility, okay, Rick Sanchez and Guinan, lovers, travel around the universe together, could they possibly have spawned? And so could this spawn be an ancestor of Jack Crusher? So could Guinan actually somehow be Wesley's great, 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 great grandmother?
Yes, this is exactly the case. This is so true. Okay, so when they crash into the Enterprise is in the middle of a battle with a Borg. Yes, there's a whole. It's like the Enterprise made it. It's like an alternative universe. Yeah, it's one of the alternate realities, and the Enterprise made it to the Battle of Wolf 359, and the Borgs absolutely tearing everything apart. Half the Enterprise crew has been assimilated. The ship's like the holes blown in it. It's like falling apart.
So it's like the universe from Parallel.
Yes, it's one of those ones. Yes.
Okay, it's one of those. Cool.
And Rick smashed into Enterprise and then was like, oh, those guys, the Borg, I know those guys, and just does something and the Borg cube blows up. Because he's Rick Sanchez and he's super smart.
Nice. I have to see this show now.
Oh, you have to see it.
It's Rick
it's
and Morty.
In the maybe 5th season or something now, or 4th season. So
really?
Yeah, it's very inappropriate, but and it's animated, so you can do anything with it. But the thing is, how do you cast a live action and animated crossover? Do you do the whole thing animated, or do you cast somebody as Rick and Morty?
Or do you keep them animated on a live action show? Because that would be cool.
I suppose we've seen that kind of thing before. One example that jumps to mind is Avatar.
I've also not
How can you not have seen Avatar? Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Sound interesting.
It's very cool. I love it. Just visually, it's very beautiful. But there's lots of these big, tall, blue aliens and lots of humans. So they're all CGI. So I suppose you don't do it like a Lower Decks style animation. Lower Decks and Rick and Morty are both produced by Mike McMahon. So they share that aesthetic. Do you do a more CGI Rick and Morty? Interesting. Listeners, I hope you're on the same wavelength as us, and I want to take this idea to fruition. What is the adventure that Rick and Morty and the Enterprise D crew are on? I figure Captain Picard just can't stand Rick.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine. He'd kind of be like a Q, or like the that con artist guy that came from the future, Max Headroom. Oh, what episode was that? The Professor something. Yeah, just kind of an annoying.
Berlinghoff Rasmussen.
Yes.
Can't remember the episode though.
And then is Morty the grandson?
Morty is the grandson. Yes, he's a teenage boy. He's at that age where he just wants to have sex with everything, almost. Yeah, it's all kind of teenage boy humor.
We definitely have to have a B plot in this episode between Morty and Wesley. Because they're kind of like, I'm guessing they could potentially be about the same age. They're related but don't know it, but very opposite ends of the spectrum. If I understand it right, where Morty's all about, scoring with the ladies, and Wesley's all about, I'm Starfleet and Starfleet doesn't lie.
There was an episode where the mother, I think she's a vet. I'm not saying the full word because I can't say it still. She's a vet, and Morty went to visit his mum at the vet surgery and came across what's the device that they use for extracting semen from horses.
Nice.
Yeah, so being the teenage boy, he snuck in at night and used it. Yes, so instead of horse semen collections, it was human. But then Rick had gone and stolen or borrowed some of the semen because he knew this the sentient horse species on another planet or another dimension, and something happened. It turned out the world got invaded by Morty's giant killer sperm flying about eating people. It's just that wacky, that zany, it's that out there. So there has to be something with Morty on a holodeck.
Yes.
Suffering sexual holodictation.
Yes. Like he like stumbles onto one of Riker's holodeck programs or something.
Yeah.
Oh, the possibilities are endless. I have got to see this Rick and Morty show.
Please watch it. Cool. Okay, we might come back to this Rick and Morty TNG idea, but I want to know what your pick is for crossover.
Okay, well, so I don't know. There's not a lot I have that I've seen, right? So I've got my lists of stuff. So I watched the Orville.
Yep.
A couple of years ago now. If Amy were here, I think she would do a TNG Orville crossover, which I would love to hear about because that would be hilarious. And like speaking of fighting or whatever, who would win, Worf or Clyden? Or would they be best buds? Or would Clyden leave his husband and run off with Worf? But that's another. We'll leave that one for Amy. But so anyway, going through my own kind of watch lists, I decided a few months ago I wanted to go through Star Wars beginning to end, including all of the animated stuff. And for listeners out there, if you haven't seen the animated Star Wars series, Clone Wars, Rebels, that kind of stuff, they're so good. I'm really, really, really enjoying them. So in my crossover here, we're actually kind of bringing the Traveler back into this. The episode where no one has gone before. So you've got Kaczynski aboard the Enterprise. He's doing his whatever engine modifications and, he's an idiot and blah, blah, blah. But instead of ending up in Galaxy M33 where everyone's thoughts become reality, his engine mods send the Enterprise D to a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And I kind of see them showing up, at the end of the Clone Wars, right around the time of Order 66. So I guess, spoiler alert, everybody, if you haven't seen, the Star Wars prequels, I guess it would be. It's when the, no, it wouldn't be the prequel, it'd be episode. Anyway, Order 66 is when the clones all turn on the Jedis. Like they were fighting on behalf of the Jedi against the Empire. Emperor Palpatine flips the switch. Wow, this is really spoiler alerty. Sorry, everybody.
I think it was years ago now, wasn't it? So you're okay.
Yeah. The clones basically turn and kill all the Jedi. Anakin Skywalker, spoiler alert, kills all the younglings. So, yeah, I was kind of thinking that the Enterprise shows up just in time to, know that this is all about to happen. Now, in the meantime, they've got, Kaczynski doesn't know what he's doing. They've got the Traveler who is, incapacitated somehow in this galaxy far, far away. They show up in the midst of this crazy war. They somehow manage to intercept, I don't know, whatever it is that they find out in advance that, what Palpatine's got going on and what Anakin's about to do. And, but I think this episode would kind of turn into one of those, discussions on the Prime Directive.
Absolutely.
And yes, I think Picard would order the Enterprise not to interfere, and they would just stand idly by and watch Anakin slaughter the younglings. Oh,
Star Wars' darkest day.
I know.
So I want to go back to the very beginning. So engine modifications, that's how they get to the galaxy far, far away. But it's not the Enterprise D, I think it's the Enterprise E, and it's in the middle of the Dominion War. And the Enterprise damaged and being pursued by a a hefty fleet of Dominion ships, and to escape, they attempt to do that, get close to the sun and create a flare to take out the fleet, but something goes wrong and they end up doing a slingshot back in time. But with the engine modifications, it's back in time and to a galaxy far, far away.
Okay, I like it. I like that better, actually.
I think that's going to work.
And is there any subspace or mycelial network involved?
No, because that's mushrooms. Okay. No, thank you.
Yeah, no magic mushrooms.
Also, the reason they know what's happening with the whole Empire and Anakin and Emperor Palpatine is because they realise where they are, and Data quickly reviews the historical record of the Star Wars franchise. And so he quickly goes on the holodeck and watches all the movies. And so he knows how it's going to play out. So
that they don't affect history.
Yes, because Star Wars is actually the historical record from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And we got that information off the sphere.
Well, it's actually like it's taken so long to get from that galaxy to here. It only just arrived in like the late 1970s, which is when A New Hope came out.
Is Morty a Star Trek fan or Star Wars fan at all?
Oh, I don't know. Let's say yes.
Okay, because all right, so let's say that it is the Enterprise E. It's the Dominion War. Let's see here. Oh, and I think also that at least one Dominion ship manages to get caught in the wake of the Enterprise E and also ends up in the Star Wars galaxy.
Okay.
Like a ship full of Jem'Hadar. Ooh, with a lovely Vorta.
Yes.
So Morty has already crash landed. Rick and Morty had crash landed into the Enterprise. You know, that was like a while back, but somehow Morty being a student of Star Wars history, maybe he created some kind of holodeck program or something so that the crew ended up realizing where they were. Or we can go with it, or the data download.
Well, yeah. Why don't given Rick's super genius, he created like a Moriarty level smart hologram of himself and Rick, so that when the crew was in a jam, they could just activate these holodeck characters and help them out.
Nice. Like not an EMH, it'd be like a ERH, an emergency Rick hologram.
Yes.
ERMH, emergency Rick and Morty hologram.
That's a thing now. Yeah.
Nice. The ERMH is activated. Now all I can think of is that it looks like Captain Rios, but we're getting back on track here. So they don't know where they are or when they are. They activate the ERMH, who tells them that they're in the Star Wars universe. There's much debate and moralizing about the Prime Directive. They have to sit back in horror as they watch the younglings get slaughtered. Also, though, the Jem'Hadar are here, and you know they're going to want to
fight.
I mean, they're going to have a Vorta in charge, yeah. And heck, they could even have a Founder on board. That'd be even better, because Founder might decide that they also want to conquer the Star Wars galaxy and bring it into the Dominion.
Does the Founder pretends to be one of the main Star Wars antagonists? Like, Founder kills Palpatine, or Darth Vader, who's Anakin, and pretends to be them to control.
Yes, the Founder becomes Anakin. Maybe, except that wouldn't explain what happens to him on Mustafar, because he'd be able to, like, gelatinously have arms and legs again. I don't know. Anakin was always a little brat that was gonna like turn anyway.
But if you wanted to appear human, wouldn't you just fake all the burning damage? You can make as a changeling, you could just make yourself look all burnt and damaged up.
And then condemn yourself to live inside of a heavy black suit? You're
not. It's just part of who you are. It's not a suit. It's just part of your changeling appearance.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It's part of like that Founder's motivation to conquer that galaxy far, far away.
And the medical droids wouldn't know what a changeling was, so they would just scan him and say, oh, human, burnt, fix.
Yeah. Well done.
So then we've got the Dominion's got a foothold in the Star Wars universe. And so then it's down to the Enterprise crew to try and fix it.
Because then, okay, so if the Enterprise goes in and tries to fix it now, does that changeling remain as Anakin? Or does somehow that's when the real Anakin gets switched back and chopped up and burnt.
Maybe it's after okay. Maybe it's after that. So real Anakin gets burnt on Mustafar, and then the changeling kills him and takes his place, dumps his body in a trash compactor, and then takes his place as Darth Vader. And so then it's difficult for the Enterprise D or E crew to fix anything about that, because then you've got Darth Vader in charge of the Empire. So then it becomes a question, Enterprise E against like things like the Death Star, Superstar Destroyers, all the TIE fighters, legions and legions of stormtroopers who can't aim to save themselves.
And so now what happens with the Jem'Hadar? Do they, partner with the Enterprise against the legions? Or they have to follow the Founder?
They just wear stormtrooper helmets.
Oh,
so you don't really know. It could be anybody in there.
Yeah. They'd need like extra large size.
For their spiky bits.
Or do they just end up dying off because there's no Ketracel White over there?
True.
And then, so we've got the one Founder that's now assumed the role of Darth Vader, who is desperately trying to reestablish, reach out to his fellow Founders to be like, yo, we're going to conquer this galaxy here.
Founders, a bit like the Borg in First Contact, making the interplexing beacon to communicate with the Borg of the past. So this Founder, in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, tries to make some kind of death antenna, let's call it that, to communicate with the Milky Way's changelings, but are way back in time.
Yeah. Well, that could spawn some interesting consequences. Now, what happens later on when, Luke Skywalker comes into the picture and basically Darth Vader kills Palpatine, he is redeemed. Has the changeling come around as Luke's stepfather? Or... And then he becomes a Force ghost.
He does.
Is that something like a skill that was added by the changelings that the Jedi weren't able to do before?
Yes, he ascended, like in Stargate. We're getting quite complicated, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Does the Enterprise crew realise they can't really do anything about it, so just tuck tail and go home? And
but how do they get home?
Delete all our personal logs and all the records, please. That didn't happen.
Yes. So that's... I guess the other part of the equation is, how does the Enterprise get home? Does Yoda help? I mean, Yoda's kind of got his hands full.
Yoda's a bit travelery, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Using the Force to, along with the warp field equations to midichlorian the Enterprise. Warp factor midichlorian. Because warp drive is much faster than hyperspace.
Yeah.
So there's no technology around that they could use to get the Enterprise back faster, because the Enterprise is it has to be some kind of using the Force. Yoda comes on and touches the warp drive or the dilithium chamber.
So is there any connection between being Force sensitive and, say, being a traveler? Like, is there travelers in our galaxy, do they use the Force? Is that just a different manifestation?
If you set your tricorder properly, you'll find that Wesley's got quite a high concentration of midichlorians.
I think he does too. So this is Enterprise E when Wesley's back aboard for some reason, right? He's gone off
the wedding. He's not left yet.
Yeah. Okay, so he's been traveling with the Traveler. Mm-hmm. Basically, he's been the Traveler's Padawan, you could say.
Yes.
He's learned the mysteries of the Force.
Yes.
So this might end up being another Wesley Saves the Day 2-part episode.
But Wesley doesn't cut it. It has to be Wesley and Yoda. Wesley tries, but it's too far away. Mm-hmm. He's doesn't have the power. So Yoda floats in, and it has to be Wesley and Yoda. But there also has to be a lightsaber battle between a platoon of Jem'Hadar and Yoda before he gets to the engine room to send them on their merry way.
Yes, because the Enterprise D has been pursued by stormtroopers and Jem'Hadar dressed as stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. And while the regular stormtroopers keep missing their mark, somehow the Jem'Hadar managed to get aboard the Enterprise D. Yeah. And Yoda has to slaughter them all before teaming with Wesley to bring the warp nacelles into whatever configuration to... And Geordi, Geordi's in there too, doing his engineering thing. Yeah, and that way you also get rid of any of the Jem'Hadar that would taint the timeline.
That's a good point. And we've dealt with the changeling somehow do we just let that sequence of events play out?
Yeah, because the Changeling became Darth Vader. So it's kind of like in that Deep Space Nine episode, the two-parter, where they go back and to Earth and Captain Sisko becomes Gabriel Bell, for lack of a better term. So now this Changeling has basically become Darth Vader, and he's kind of stuck because he's all alone, unable to contact his fellow Changelings.
He's just got his Changeling abilities.
And maybe he doesn't, maybe there's something about the fires of Mustafar that like burnt the changelingness out of him. Now he's stuck in the body of a singed humanoid.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, and I think the Enterprise just says, just leave it. We can't really interfere with the chain of events, and we're only one little ship dealing with a huge empire, so it'd be too difficult. We're too far away, we don't have resources or can't refuel or any of those kind of things. And is this a single episode, a two-parter, a whole season, a multi-season arc, or a movie?
I was thinking a two-parter, but a movie might also work, called Trek Wars.
It'd have to be called Trek Wars, wouldn't it? Although I feel there's already been something called Trek Wars.
Then we'll call it Wars Trek.
Yes.
Doesn't quite work.
Star.
There you go. Star Squared.
Yeah.
And I think it would be live action. Although if we went, with like the animated Star Wars series, but I think this one lends itself to
it has to be live action.
Live action, yeah.
Yes. With the proper de-aging, not the season 1 Picard Data de-aging.
Yeah.
That proper make everybody look young. I want young.
Yes.
So it's just, we're talking about Wesley being in it. Wesley's on board the Enterprise, and it's just before the wedding. So it's just before the events of Star Trek Insurrection. Nope, Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Oh, when was the wedding? Nemesis?
Nemesis.
Yes. So literally...
Does that work out timeline-wise with the Dominion War?
No.
Well, if it doesn't, we can always just say Wesley was aboard to visit his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can just have a line where Picard looks at Wesley and says, "Wesley, what are you doing here?" And then just leave it at that, like he does with Worf.
Yeah, Worf just happens to be in the right place at the right time. Just visiting, luckily.
Yes.
Okay. Who do we pitch this to?
Who's running Star Wars these days? Yours is easy. Yours we pitch to Mike McMahon.
Yes.
And it's done.
So we're pitching yours to Disney.
Oh, yeah.
And CBS own all the rights. Viacom owned Paramount, and CBS owned all the TV rights, I'm sure. So it's now the umbrella company is CBS Viacom, I'm sure. I might be wrong.
So now it's a matter of, can CBS Viacom and Disney play nice and make this happen?
Can they become some kind of super organization to control all media?
Disneycom? That'd be frightening. But hey, if we only had to subscribe to one app, that would be even better.
It'd be so useful, wouldn't it?
It'd be just like having cable again.
True. Well, I think we've been very productive, and if any of these things ever get produced, I really hope that we get some of the royalties from it, because we'll be super rich and famous.
That's right. You heard it here.
Mm-hmm. My name's Joe Keegan, and my co-host is Rhea Papagiorgio.
That is correct.
Just if you want to reach out with the checks, that'd be great. Thank you.
That's great. Come to us for any ideas. We'll be happy to provide them, good or bad.
These are legit ideas. In all seriousness, these would be phenomenal to watch.
I agree. I especially like yours. And it's like, again, the Mike McMahon connection. It's like, it's right there. It could be ours. We could be set for life. You know what? The money's
there. Everything's made already. Just have to put it together and get somebody to draw it and the actors to voice it.
Exactly.
Super easy.
Exactly. I know. Piece
Can
of
you
cake.
draw?
No, but I can color.
I can draw stick people, so we can maybe do our own version.
Perfect. I can make funny voices.
Yeah, me too.
I do it every day.
I don't mind getting a cease and desist from CBS Viacom. Stop making
there you go.
Star Trek, Rick and Morty, Star Wars crossovers.
Perfect. It's set already. Cool. Well, listeners, if any of you have any drawing or coloring or animation skills that you'd like to contribute to the cause, reach out to us.
3D compositing would be useful as well.
Oh, wow, them's big words.
CGI experience also.
Probably a good lawyer.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Incoming transmission.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's show and hope you'll join the Facebook group Federation Council Chambers. You're welcome to start conversations with us or add any general Star Trek info you want to share with the group.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can email the network at galaxyclass@ufp.earth, and we probably will read your email on the show. We'd also love to hear your ideas for our future financial dynasty creating Star Trek crossovers.
Please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a star rating and written review. That helps others to find the show. You can also follow the entire network's podcast with our master feed by searching United Federation of Podcasts. This way you won't miss any of our fine shows like All Good Things, Franchise Fatigue, Always Hold On to Arrow, History with the Szilagys, Sasquatch, and Infinite Diversity.
So, Joe, where can people find you when you are not accidentally spawning a race of sentient Scottish horses that will take over the Earth?
Well, I think I'm supposed to kill you if I tell you.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, sorry. But when I'm not doing that, you can find me on the Federation Council Chambers. You can tweet me on the Twitter at JoeyJoe77UK. Or you can email me, joepodcasts@gmail.com. So, Rhea, where can people find you when you're not destroying franchises with unbelievable crossovers?
Well, when I'm not destroying franchises with unbelievable crossovers, I will likely be scraping together every penny I have to pay hefty fines and legal fees and possibly serving jail time. But if I'm in some, I don't know, like a low security prison, maybe I'd have internet access. And then you can find me on the Federation Council Chambers, where I would love to hear everyone else's Star Trek crossovers. You can also send me an email at riapod47@gmail.com. That's RIAPOD47@gmail.com.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
If you'd like to help us keep all our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/UFPEarth. That's patreon.com/UFPEARTH to get all the details.
We would like to recognise our executive producers Brandon Shumatala, Ken Tripp, Zach Moore and Tony Robinson. We'd also like to thank Zach Tripp for our opening and closing music and Tony Robinson for our amazing artwork.
Thank you for beaming aboard the Galaxy class, and until next time...
Rhea, are you my father?
Maybe. I have a bad feeling about this.
Daddy.
Stay classy, Galaxy.
Engage.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.